After the launch, the shuttle exploded and all 7 crew members lost their lives. This is Judy Resnick, an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger mission. In 2013, an eagle-eyed internet user found Judith Resnick, a law professor at Harvard Law School. Some people were a little taken aback by the identical name, age, and likeness, so they started digging. This is Michael J. Smith, also an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger shuttle, who passed away that fateful day in 1986 at the age of 39 years old. This is Dr. Michael J. Smith, professor of engineering at the University of Wisconsin. This is Sharon Krista McAuliffe, arguably one of the most famous things about the Challenger mission. She was supposedly just a teacher that was picked at random to be one of the astronauts, which made it all the more tragic when she passed away due to the Challenger disaster in 1986. This is Sharon A. McAuliffe, also a law professor who received her degree shortly after the Challenger disaster. Dick Scobie was the commander of the mission. Here's Commander Dick Scobie next to Richard Scobie, the CEO of Cows and Trees. Here's his company's original logo. It's a cow, but it's not in a tree. It's strapped to a rocket, and gee, that jet stream kind of looks familiar. In fact, just in case I wasn't making it clear, the top picture is the Challenger ship shortly after exploding. So, Astronauts Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka both passed away when the Challenger shuttle exploded. Miraculously, it was found out that they both had twin brothers, Carl McNair and Claude Onizuka. But ancestry searches were done for both Carl and Claude, and there was no birth records found. And the odds of 2 sets of identical twins in a crew of 7 are astronomical. But that's just a theory. Rest in peace to the crew of the Challenger space shuttle mission.
In 1986, the shuttle Challenger exploded about 74 seconds after takeoff, killing all 7 astronauts inside. Or did it? It turns out that 6 of the 7 are still alive and kicking today. Ellison Onizuka claims to be his identical twin brother, Claude. Yeah, I've got an identical twin brother, Claude, too. The Challenger pilot, Mickey Smith, hasn't even bothered changing his name. He's now Professor Michael J. Smith of University of Wisconsin. Now, Krista McAuliffe was a bit of a sneaky one. She was the Challenger payload specialist, quite famous for being a teacher. It turns out during her astronaut days she was using her middle name, Krista, and now she goes by her first name, Sharon, and she's a Syracuse law professor. The Challenger commander, Francis Richard Scobie, is now Dick Scobie, which sounds like a rather unpleasant disease, CEO of Cows and Trees Limited. Judith Resnick, the Challenger mission specialist, again hasn't even bothered changing her name. She's a professor at Yale Law. And finally, Ronald McNair, another Challenger mission specialist, claims to be his identical twin brother, Carl McNair. What are the odds?
The cockpit arrangement associated with deploying a satellite. In this particular view, Dan is actually operating the 16mm camera, panning the cockpit. You can see Dick over there on the left. He's sort of supervising the operation. There's Dale. He's going to be handling the cameras and the switches. And I'm working from the commander's seat up front, sending out commands through keyboard and talking to the PAM and a satellite through CRT display. You can see, as I said, that was basically our arrangement. Our Dan sat in the pilot seat during this operation, sort of monitoring the motion of the vehicle, making sure that it was steady and that there were very few vibrations of any sort. Here's a picture of the INSAT actually being deployed from the spacecraft. You can see that the deploy went very smoothly. At the moment of deploy, there was a large thump, and as I said, the spacecraft was deployed very smoothly, and there was no vibrations or no precession of the satellite as it left the payload bay. Matter of fact, Dale pointed out that about a minute 20 seconds after deployment, you could see some of the jets on the spacecraft actually firing.
Okay, what you just watched was the Challenger STS-8 in low Earth orbit, 1983, with a satellite being deployed from the payload bay. Now let's examine the video with a critical eye. Now, as we can see here, it looks like the astronauts are working at the control panels, kind of looking back at the pilot. And at this point, everything seems to be looking normal. I guess as normal as things would look if you were in a space shuttle in low Earth orbit. But all of that is getting ready to change. What I want you to do is keep your eye on the upper right corner of the screen once the camera switches to the outside rear of the space shuttle where the satellite is being deployed.
Dan sat in the pilot seat during this operation, sort of monitoring the motion of the vehicle, making sure that it was steady.
And here we go. I see this guy's face pop up behind the space shuttle.
Here's a picture of the INSAT.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a man's face moving around behind the space shuttle in outer space. Now I'm going to zoom in where you can get a better look. There you go. So he pops his head up, then he ducks back down, and then he raises up just again for a second.
The deploy went very smoothly.
Now I'm going to put a thermal filter on so you can see that this is not any tricks done by myself. There you go, you see him rise up, back down, and he raises back up again.
From the spacecraft, you can see that the deploy went very smoothly.
Okay, now let's zoom in using the thermal filter. And there you see him pop up. There he goes down. And then it pops back up again. And then you can also see a little bit more movement going on behind the shuttle. I'm not sure if that's his body or whatever he's moving around back there. But you can go to NASA's website and watch the original for yourself if you don't believe me. They are lying to us, people. Please wake up.
The Lord told me to tell you, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake. Wake up, wake up. God's getting ready to get ready, to get ready, to get ready. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! In the balcony, wake up! In the choir stand, wake up!
Morning in the sky, Challenger roared and the rockets did fly. 73 seconds, a flash and a cry. Folks said they all fell, said goodbye. They say some souls were lost today, but did they really hide away? Cause now we have the internet, they didn't know would be a threat. Same names and faces walking around, are the doppelgangers or have they been found? Captain Scobie got the same name, he says that's not me, I got no fame. Resnick and Onizuka, McNair in disguise. Are we supposed to not believe our eyes? Up they went, boom, they're gone, but the story keeps a-rolling on. Seen their faces clear as day, truth or tale, who's to say? So sing it, friends, about the stars and the skies, about rockets and legends and clever disguise. Some swear they're alive, some swear they died, didn't change their names, didn't even hide. Here is Judith Resnick, and here is Judith Resnick. She says I'm not a dead astronaut, just universities I've taught. Now this is Richard Scobie, and this is Richard Scobie. He says no, that's not me, I just run cows and trees. 6 doppelgangers walk in the land, must be a coincidence. Up they went, boom, they're gone, but the story keeps said rolling on, seen their faces clear as day. Truth to tell, who's to say? So sing it with friends about the stars and the skies, about rockets and legends and clever disguise. Some swear they're alive, some swear they died, didn't change